It's January transfer window time here in the GloryHunter save. We are approaching the January in 2030, and with 4 games in the month to play, it's going to be a very busy one, and this may be a bit of a bumper episode. We are looking to improve in defence with a new signing either at right back or potentially centre back, and we're also looking to improve on our squad depth with regards to our attacking midfielders as well. The comment section has come to the conclusion, and I reluctantly believe that I agree, that Nanasi just isn't quite going to do the job for us that we need to take us to that next level. So we are looking to sell Nanasi on, we're looking to sell Joe Mendes, we're looking to sell Lianco and raise funds to bring in new players. We're looking for, like I said, centre-back or right-back, and then a more forward player. So with regards to players on my shortlist currently, thanks to your feedback and to the list of players that are available in La Liga, I'd like to buy domestic if I can, i.e. from this division, not necessarily Spanish per se. Molina is an option. He might even be an option further forward, Molina, because of his ability to be good in the pass, and his crossing is very, very good as well. He might be a right mid that we could bring in, perhaps would fill a number of roles, similarly to how Japhet Tanganga fills a number of roles, but and at 25 million, he'd be bloody cheap as well for an 84 rated player. There's Arnau Martinez, who's at Girona currently. He's only 5'11", he's jumping 76, despite the fact he says he can play at centre-back. He's a bit more of an all-rounder as well, so I don't know on that front. Lombardi's very expensive, but one of the best right-backs in the division. Ruben Sanchez is not as expensive at all, and great in the tackle, but doesn't really excel in the pass, which is slightly frustrating. When it comes to a couple of options outside of La Liga, we've had Mohamed Simakan on our radar for a little while. He's not great in possession, though. However, Antonio Silva physically is just a monster, and technically is very good as well. I could spend about 60 million on Antonio Silva, and that would significantly improve our 11. If I did do that, then that would mean that Kim Min-jae, Mavropanos, Rossi and Steryu would not be looked at all. Then we'd be looking at the winger position. Now, there are some higher rated older players that aren't valued that highly. I could get Sigankov for about value. They also have Amad Diallo, who they don't play, but he's significantly more expensive. They also have an 87 rated Kulusevski that they don't play. So I could maybe look at getting Kulu in, although they currently play Sigankov ahead of Kulu, but that's kind of FIFA being FIFA, isn't it? They should play Kulu ahead of Sigankov, but because they play a right mid, not a right winger, it plays Sigankov. So actually, if I bought Victor for about value, it would actually improve Atletico Madrid, even though they'd be losing an 85 rated player. Barrenechea is an option, although his passing is quite poor at 76. Patrick Vorlemark is decent, kind of like a run-of-the-mill, bog-standard, not bad in any area kind of player. Trincao similarly for a similar value as well, about 30 to 35 million. Trincao's passing again, though, not quite so good. Puado is a player that really stands out physically and technically is, again, decent but not spectacular, but having slightly higher finishing means that we could use him in a multitude of different areas. So Puado's not that expensive at all. So I'm leaning Antonio Silva, and I'm leaning either Sigankov or Puado, depending on how much money we have available post the signing of Antonio Silva. So we've a few days to go until we actually even get to January. So I've got some scout reports out on a couple of other players as well. So I'm hoping that potentially one of those options might be affordable and a decent potential also. So if there's anyone else to add to the shortlist in the next few days, then I will do so. But for the time being, we're just going to crack on towards that January transfer window, try and get some sales done, try and get some points on the board with the first few games of January as well. And then fingers crossed, come the end of today's episode and the passing of deadline day, we should be in a much better position, both with the squad and hopefully with our league position as well, having had a little bit of a wobble in the last episode. Let's have a bid £10 million for Jakob Brun Larsen. I open to selling him, but I'm not going to be able to get much more than that. So I'm tempted to just accept. They reckon I can get up to 11. I'm not going to risk failing to see that through. So we'll take £10 million for Jakob Brun Larsen. We've had a bit more of a development of our potential transfer plans because of a couple of other players that have popped up on the shortlist with regards earlier scout reports. Now, what I could do, players like Omar Bamidele at centre-back, physically is very impressive, technically is good enough, and he would only be a backup. Branthwaite is also very impressive technically and physically, although not quite as fast as Omar Bamidele, and they're both relatively cheap. Okay, well, I cannot get Branthwaite, so that takes him out of the question, but I might be able to afford Omar Bamidele as a backup centre-back and Antonio Silva, who's actually dropped in valuation a little bit. Now, they reckon I was going to have to pay 60 plus, then I reckon I could get him for about 57 at PSV. That would be about... Oh, they won't sell Omar Bamidele other than his release clause. Ah, balls. Okay, that changes things again then. So, Silva, and then I was leaning towards someone like Molina or actually this Arnau Martinez as the go-to backup right back. So I could sign Silva and Martinez. So I could get a centre-back and a right back and a winger. So Antonio Silva would then come into the starting lineup ahead of Vitic, and Vitic would drop to be my backup centre-back. And then I'd have Martinez as a rotation fullback, and then probably Puado as a rotation winger as well. I haven't yet had any bids for Nana C, so I'm hoping they start to come in the not too distant future. But interesting Pantea and Puado actually. Monaco have bid £31.9 million for him. Now I am going to not let that happen. Puado is a player that I think is definitely the go-to for that wide role, the cheaper option. So I'm going to try and pick him up from Bilbao for, they reckon I can get him for about £27 million, which is valuation. I'm not going to pay his release clause of 53. Thank you very much. And I could try and use Nanasi as part of this deal if they'd be interested in him. So let's try that. Nanasi is valued about 18. If I offer 10 million plus Nanasi, they might be open to that. They want 14 million plus Nanasi. Now that's good news. That's very good news. That could be a fantastic deal for us. He's currently on £36,000 a week. Now, wages recently have been a bit weird, i.e. players have been accepting wages that are significantly lower than what they're currently on for no real reason that we can understand whatsoever. And again, he's asking for a significant pay cut. I'm certainly going to be reporting that to the devs with a couple of screenshots for evidence as well. But Puado will join us and not Monaco. That is a significant improvement in that rotation winger role. Javier Puado will be much better than even Nanasi was when he was at his peak at 80 rated. So that is a fantastic signing for us. Great for the team, great for the squad, and hopefully great for our title challenge. Next, we need to sort out the defence. So I need some more sales first before I commit to signing Antonio Silva, unless, of course, we get a couple of other teams start to throw in bids for players that we're interested in. We're going to go play Rayo Vallecano next, though. We'll then sim Mallorca and play Getafe and the other club that was in the month that I can't quite recall. So one new signing in, and hopefully 2 more to come. Let's get a quick, swift victory if we can. Miguel Morro in goal for them. Jan Couto, our former player, at right wing-back, with Ibrahim, Kotza and Dorley. Morro and Petrovic holding with Jared Bowen, Crepin Diatta and Moritz Kjærgaard, who's actually very good at cam, with Jurgen Strand-Larsen up top at striker for them. Puado might get the opportunity to come on and influence play from the bench. We have transfer plans in place for our defensive improvements. We just need to make sure that we keep scoring goals at the other end, and we'll start to rise that table, and the league title challenge will begin once again. Conditions here might cause us some issues. That said, what might also cause me issues is high-rated players not able to shoot on target from 10 yards. Unbelievable from Milan Czech. Proper face palm, that one. I don't quite know how he hasn't buried that. But they're building nicely here. But Pantea will deal with that one. Kick it all the way back to Garrido. Holy moly. That had me very, very worried for a significant period of the travel of that ball. Roberto to Milan Czech. Let it run, actually. I was hoping to try and play that around the corner to Elise. But Milan Czech is in here. And we'll tuck it back. And Roberto. And then Elise. It's Kefren Turam, in fact, that does bury it. Roberto with good positioning. Unfortunate not to find his precise effort find the bottom corner. Thankfully, Kefren Turam had decided he wanted to get forward this time. And we lead by a goal to nil away from home. They've not really given their fans much to sing about so far, this Vallecano side. And that lo 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 is our fans making their voices heard here late on in the first half. We will go in at the break with a 1-0 lead and relatively comfortable so far. But given our defensive frailties of the past few weeks, I want to make sure that we get a second goal. Crepin Diatta. Just good footwork. Kiergar worried about that tuck back. There it is. Good block by the defender. Tanganga with good footwork to get it down and under control quickly to get it away. That's what Vitic hasn't offered us of late, which would be a significant portion as to the reason why I may well look to bring Antonio Silva in. Bula to Roberto. Need to get the shot on target, which of course Roberto does. And we lead by 2-0 there. It's a good chance Vallecano at the other end. Their best created of the game so far. And it's actually led to them going even further behind, unfortunately for them. Slowing him up, turning him around. Petrovic, can I get to that with Tanganga? I couldn't. I tried to commit to go for the header. Jared Bowen could wind up from there. It's well worked by Vallecano. Strand Larsen makes it 2-1. The extra pass making the difference there. I thought the man that got the assist was actually going to have this shot when he's played in here. But he goes for the pass. Just makes the keeper change his positional situation. His feet aren't quite set, so he can't react properly to the shot that eventually comes in. With 9 minutes to go, they've added a little bit of a question mark over this. We've brought on Javier Puado now to make his debut. I moved Elise central, and Milan Czech is now the man that's dropped to the bench. Thuram through that gap. Puado could have an immediate impact here if he can find a pass to find a teammate, which he has done, and Kefren Thuram fires that straight at the goalkeeper. Would have been a great introduction from Javier Puado to come on and get an assist. To be fair, to come on and just be involved immediately anyway is just as impressive. And we'll try and get around the outside of Oscar Dorley here, but that's easier said than done. I've got Roberto back here in support. And at the minute, we're just looking to waste time now to ensure that we get the win. It's all about game management, as ever. Kefren Thuram's in. They tried to play a bit of an offside shot there that didn't work. Thuram not got the quick reactions to get the shot away, but with only 1 minute added on, and them now having given the ball away again, that should be game. And Puado could be in. Oh, to seal it at 3-1. Already impressed with Javier Puado with what he's done in his 10-minute cameo. We'll get to that first. Just lift it into the middle. It's cleared away. Nod it down. Shoot. Wide. Doesn't matter. Win. 3 points. Let's go. Reguilon would like to offer me Peter, who is a 79 rated right winger and £220,000. That's a bit of an insult, really, for an 83 rated left back who actually did grow to 84 and has now come back down to 83. We have had a bid, however, from Brighton for Lianco. Now, they're not willing to pay much. So, again, my chief executive reckons that I can only get 10.7 or so. So I'm just going to accept the 9.7 to make sure that we get the sale to raise the funds we feel we're going to need to get the signings even that we want to make. 2 more defenders we hope to bring in. An offer for Joe Mendes soon would be nice too, although I could use Joe Mendes as part of another deal. I'm praying I'm going to have enough money to get everything done here. We'll go for the centre-back first. Lianco can't agree terms with Brighton, but hopefully that's because he is going to go to Atalanta. Fulham would like Caro. Now, he's not going to go anywhere. And we have now had a bid for Joe Mendes as well, which is great. 11.5 million. I reckon I can get up to 12. I'm just going to accept the 11.5. And I think with those 2 sales, we should have enough money to get everybody in that we want to get in. Arsenal bid 20 million for Pantea. Shows the quality of the man, but teams like Arsenal are sniffing around an 80 rated player. Another bid for Lianco now. This one's come in from Marseille of 10.4. He's in ongoing transfer talks with Atalanta, but he could go to either. Alexander Isak would like to start, and to be fair, this next one is going to be a sim against the lower ability, lower rated, lower ranked Mallorca. So certainly I can throw Alexander Isak into the simulated game, and hopefully he can help us get a win to give us 6 points from 6 so far today, and then we'll get some more signings done. Mallorca away. We played them yesterday. They beat us 2-0. So I'm hoping that in the sim this time around, we'll have a better result. Liam Delap up top for them. Got them the early goal. Well, not the early goal, actually. It was in the second half. But it got them the first goal. And then they added to it late on. It was a frustrating game, actually, against Mallorca. It certainly felt like we should have won that game. But alas, we didn't. But fingers crossed we can win this one. Although we are under pressure quite a bit in these opening stages. Oh, that's a ping. And Elise's in, and that's a goal. Lovely ball. Great finish. 1-0 Malaga. This is a good move. Building well. The ends in a goal also. Kefren Turam. Since I mentioned in a previous episode, actually I don't know whether the highlight made it in or not, but certainly in commentary whilst on stream, recording the episode, I mentioned that Kefren Turam hasn't wowed me so far since joining, and I was wondering if maybe I'd made the wrong decision as to which central midfielder to bring in. Since then, he scored 3 or 4 goals and been pretty solid defensively. So, I don't know whether he's trying to prove me wrong. We're 3-0 up now, but he certainly is proving me wrong, at least in this current spell of form. And this is certainly good payback for yesterday's defeat against Mallorca, isn't it? 3-0 at half-time. Finish from Coisance. Wow. Okay. Maybe it's game on again. That was whipped very nicely into the corner. Are they about to pull off a madness here, Mallorca? I'm not sure if Reguilon's onside there. It seems he is. And we have a fourth. Milan Cech played in by Alexander Isak. And this has turned into a very comfortable victory for us, which is very much needed at this stage of the season. So we will take all 3 points very, very gladly indeed. Final whistle goes. It's a simple 4-1 win. We're actually more dominant in the first half when we had less possession. Mallorca had 63-ish% in that first half. We're brought back down to 54, but actually we're more in the game. Joe Mendes has gone. Lianco's contract talks with Atalanta have broken down, and I'm starting to wonder whether he might actually leave us at all. Keanu Hoover is not great. So financially, I have £70 million or thereabouts. 68.8. Now, is that enough to bring in both Silva, if I can get him for no is the answer. What I'd like is Martinez and Silva, and at the minute, I don't have enough to do that. So I'm going to need further sales, but we do have still, actually I could have stayed on that menu, we do have still Lianco left to go, who hopefully at some point actually sign a contract with someone. Lianco has finally signed a contract with someone. Ask and you shall receive. Going also to Liga, to Marseille for £10.4 million. Lianco is out the door. Now, I'm going to have to be very, very frugal in my negotiations here, but there is potentially the opportunity to get both of these deals done. But I am certainly going to need opposition teams to be open to a bit of wiggle room if I'm to get this done. And I don't think there's anyone else left in the squad that I'd consider selling. I mean, maybe Olmo, and I could recall someone from loan. Perhaps if I need the extra money, that's something we could look to do. Regardless, let's go and get the big one done first. Antonio Silva, let's bring him in from PSV. Offered 50, they've come back with 55.8 as a negotiation. Now, it's said with my chief executive that I could get him for under 57. So the fact that they're willing to negotiate this at all is fantastic. They're still adamant that they want 55.8 though, but I am going to have to try and be a little bit pushier than that, I'll edit the sell on clause and make that slightly bigger too to add a bit more value to it. And they will accept 54. Well, that's very good. He's on £28,000 a week, and as we know, or in our experience so far, wages for players like this are weirdly, just oddly low. They're not asking for deals that match their ability, their expectations. This is an 85 rated centre-back. It's on 28 grand coming to a big league, wanting 21. Obviously, I'm going to take it. I'm not going to unnecessarily give him a massive wage and mess my finances up. But Antonio Silva comes in now, and that's a significant improvement on Vitic. He will now start alongside Japhet Tanganga in the starting lineup. Vitic will drop to the bench. Apologies, Luke Mbete. And that's now a much better centre-back line or partnership than it previously was. Now, I am going to try and bring the other right back in. At present, still though, leaning towards keeping Pantea in that 11. Now, he's valued at 31 million, Martinez. And their asking price is that, but apparently I could get him for around 25. Now, I only have 22 available to me, so I don't know as I'm actually going to be able to get this done. You can see then I would perhaps struggle wage-wise. They want Vitic. Now that I'm certainly not willing to do. I will actually, well, I'll probably have to back out of this and then go again once we've made another sell. They want 25. I'm going to have to end negotiation. I am keen on that signing though. So what I'm going to look to do is sell a fringe player and then recall someone from loan. Because we do have a handful of loanees out. And if you have a look, I could potentially bring back Fuentes, who's 72 rated. But not the worst player in the world, just to have a body. And then sell, where are you? Olmo, who's valued at £6 million. So I've not used Olmo practically at all in this entire save. So that is certainly a justifiable move. I could maybe sell Caro as well, and then maybe recall Navas, who could play at centre-back. He's 5'10", but he's got 92 jumping. So I could maybe do that too. But we'll do it one player at a time, trying to not sell everybody that I like from my fringe players. And then hopefully, maybe, we can get that final deal done. A bid has come in from Nijmegen in, I want to say, the Netherlands, to give us an extra £6 million. Now that might be enough to see that transfer go through with regards to the incoming from Getafe, a team that we play later on in this episode. We do need to get this. There you go. That's, I think, games rescheduled for either the Copa del Rey. It is. It's Sevilla in the Copa del Rey. In the Champions League, we've been drawn against Paris Saint-Germain. Oh, yikes. That said, we've won that competition in the GloryHunter, so it's not that much of an issue. Right, okay. Celta Vigo I will play next then. And then tomorrow, we will play Getafe, Sevilla, and in the transfer window, because I don't want to sim any more games in La Liga than I have to. And also, we want to win the Copa del Rey as well, and I want to play all 3 of those remaining games. There's been a bit of transfer action today too, and I don't really have the time to get this out to you, as it's already 1:10 on the afternoon of the video, the day I want the video to go out. I need to make sure that you get it, and that's factored in too. We've obviously played Vallecano and won, simmed Mallorca and won. Now let's go play Celta Vigo and win, and then hopefully we can get that final deal done before transfer deadline day tomorrow. Antonio Silva, now to make his debut. Celta Vigo's standout man used to be their 86 rated Fratesi in the middle of the park that just made things tick. He's been sold by Celta Vigo now. John Maruli in goal. Fran Ramirez, Pacheco, Perez are now an 80 rated Joao Cancelo at left back. He was 82 last time we played them. He continues to plummet in rating. Just 18 months ago, when he was available on a free, he was 86 rated. He is falling off a cliff, Joao Cancelo. Gibralso's still holding, Ramazani on the right, and it's now Patrice Marcal in the midfield, their highest rated centre mid, behind the now sold 86 rated Fratesi. Dan James on the left, still got Tomasz Tranchara up top and an 87 rated Joe Gelhardt, who will be difficult to play against, but having made the significant introduction of Antonio Silva to our defensive line now, hopefully we'll be even better at keeping the ball out the back of the net. Reguilon will find Kefren Turam, and Bulat will get that quickly to Roberto. Panteo was about to step forward on the overlap. Thankfully, he hadn't quite got himself that far forward yet, because he would have been well out of position, and now not in the right place to try and help defend this. Here is Joao Cancelo. It's like he heard me slating how he'd fallen off a cliff and was like, I've got something to say about that. Gets involved in the attack, and Celta Vigo nearly start with a goal. Up goes Antonio Silva. It's actually Reguilon that gets in the way of that on the line. The keeper couldn't do anything about it, and anywhere will do for Antonio Silva there. Lost his first aerial battle, but got rid of the ball and then drew the foul to ease the pressure at the back. Ooh, that was a nervy opening 10 minutes. Ooh, and we've got a free kick as well. I'm not sure what for there. Maybe a handball. Wasn't really too much. Didn't look like there was too much of a push in the back. Let's go for that top right-hand corner if we can. 3 and a bit bars of power might be a little bit too much. Or not! Oh, travelling towards the right-hand side of the goal. Could very well have hit the post and gone in there. Sule needs the overlapping run, which isn't really that forthcoming, but Roberto's in a good position here, but can't get the ball under control. Okay, both sides dangerous in this game. I'll have that, thank you. Very loose touch by Joe Gelhardt. Celta stepping with an offside trap just to squeeze the play in the middle, which closes the gaps, because there are some gaps opening in their back line. As you can see, right then and there, Michael Elise in the 36th minute makes it Malaga 1, Celta Vigo 0. Both sides have the opportunity to score goals in this game. Both sides have the quality to score goals in this game, but we have quality in more than just the one area, unlike them. They're a one-man team with Joe Gelhardt now, and we have 4 or 5 players that can really put up a bit of a goal threat. It's Fanchara around the corner to Joe Gelhardt. Driven in, Garrido's in the way, and again, we'll just get rid Antonio Silva on hand with good defensive positioning to be in the right place at the right time to ensure we don't concede a goal there. Get that into Kefren Turam first. Hold off the attentions of the defenders. Wasn't exactly how I envisaged building the move, but the move is still building nicely, and I'll look for Roberto here, who didn't commit to a run into the box. Sule under control though, and the effort's tame too, wide. Alright, chances for multiple goals, but there is only the one so far. Elise to Kefren Turam. Roberto's here. I'm actually going to go left here. Oh, please be onside. He was. Yes! Squeezed home from a narrow angle. I thought it was a bit of a risk to take the first time shot. It's a risk that pays off on this occasion. We extend our advantage with the goal either side of half-time. We're 2 goals to the good again. We needed the 2 goals against Vallecano. We may well need the 2 goals against Celta Vigo as well, but we've got them now. Perez into Gibraltar. Marcal, Gelhardt. Oh, that is poor, Joe. You were much better than that for England with me at the helm. We know you've got more in your locker than that, pal. Take note of Roberto. This is how you do... Oh, no. Oh, he's won the pen. I was going to say, this is how you strike the ball well. Brilliant drop of the shoulder to turn inside and beat the defender. And then just a slight delay when I was powering up the shot. I mean, is it not a red card because it's a genuine attempt to play the ball? Is that why that's not a straight red? Because, I mean, if ever there was a denying a goal-scoring opportunity, it's that. Because that guy's not getting there. I'm literally shooting in the process of the tackle coming in. Does he get anything on it at all? No, he steps between man and ball and flattens Roberto, who surely now, from the spot, will get his goal. I hope, anyway. Oh, the pressure is on. As you can see, that was moving very quickly. Oh, how's that for a pen? 3-0 Malaga. We're storming to victory once again. As averagely poor as we were yesterday, we're the polar opposite. and significantly much better today. And with a couple of new signings. Sule, nice little double step over, and the ball is going to find Roberto in a brilliant position, and we've made it 4. Wow! Celta Vigo crumbling and falling apart all over the place. The loss of Fratesi isn't really an issue for goals like that, but you can tell that they miss him in their overall offensive play. But defensively, they haven't really lost anyone of any real note. They still have an 82 odd rated Gibril Sow in front of them, but they really have let themselves down here, Celta Vigo. Very much so. This has not been particularly impressive from them at all. Antonio Silva getting in a good touch there. Milan Čech will dink this, looking for Matthias Sule, and it could be potentially even more by the end of this move. Roberto's there again. How's that for a 10-minute hat-trick? Wow! It's 5! Cinco, 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 cinco! God save our Lord and Saviour, Roberto. 58, 61, 66, an 8-minute hat-trick, and a second-half collapse from Celta Vigo. Sorry to keep reminding you of it, but Liverpool versus Manchester United, anyone? A second-half collapse? Pantea and Boula. You can see the numbers we've got forward here. They are in trouble, Celta Vigo, at the minute. And Kefren Turam. No! Oh, it could have been 6! Celta Vigo's misery is over, and it really was genuine misery for Celta Vigo in that second half. 3 attempts on goal for Roberto, and a hat-trick to go with it, all in the space of 8 second-half minutes. Absolutely superb from our Lord and Saviour, Roberto. Now that should fire us with the other wins we've gotten today right up the table again. We were a full 10 points behind Real Madrid at the beginning of the episode, and obviously still with massive ambitions of getting that lead at the top of the table turned around, but it is going to be difficult to do so. But we never give up, ever. And the gap at the top of the table as it stands now is 5 points. They have a game in hand, Real Madrid, so they could get another set of 3 points here. They have Vallecano in that game in hand, so you imagine that that's probably going to mean that they get the 3 points. But as we confirm a further sale, we could now... Oh, that's Brahim Ahmed going out on loan for 2 years. I thought for a minute that was Olmo leaving. It is Olmo leaving. £6 million comes in for Nijmegen. And I'm not sure if we yet have enough money now to try and go out and get that fullback. 26 million. I'm not sure, you know. I really don't know. I might have to make one more sale and recall one more loanee. But we will certainly recall Fuentes now. He will come back and we'll have a look into that potential new fullback signing in the next episode. I might even recall Kovacevic as well, just to add even more depth to the squad now that he's got significant growth out on loan at Tottenham. Almost sold a bid for Vitic, an 81 rated Lincoln, plus 15 million. I'm all right, thank you. I would still like Vitic to play a part in the squad. Just to double check. Yes, Real Madrid got their win. So the gap is 8, but it's closing. We still have Real Madrid left to play this year. That's 5 if we beat them. And only takes a couple more hiccups for Real Madrid. And that gap is significantly gone. We've seen gaps of our own disappear. We've closed gaps down of similar margins before as well. And we'll aim to do it again. Vamos, ale, Alfgates. Let's go and get that title. Join me tomorrow for transfer deadline day. I'll see you then.